Everybody. I mentioned in my last 3JS video, and I'll mention in this video that I've had a couple comments that were like, over the last 6 months, that were saying I was too quiet in these videos. So I made this video. I maxed it out in my OBS. So if you just got blasted out from going from one video to the other because it's just a lot louder, I apologize for that. I'm trying to leave it at this level. I don't talk that loud, I know I've noticed that like a lot of people who, like my wife, for example, she does a lot of social media stuff, and she's constantly shouting into her stuff, So I think that that's normal. Like most people shout into their stuff, but I'm just kind of doing normal, trying to do normal voice. Um, but it is louder now. Hopefully that helps those of you that are having a problem. Hopefully it didn't blow out anybody else's eardrums. Um, and then the second thing is, and I still don't remember if I said, "Hey guys," at the beginning of this or not, but I had my 70th subscriber subscribe yesterday, and they happened to be like where you could see them. Like not all people when they subscribe can you see them. Like about 50-50, about half the people that subscribe to me, I can see who they are, and then half the people, they're like private. Um, and the last person was a girl, so I'll definitely have girl girl viewers now. So even though my analytics say it's 100% males, it's clearly not true because I do have one subscriber that is at least one subscriber that's a female. So, anyways, welcome. I think coding's for everybody for sure, and you know, so cool. Um, so last time I got the icons working and got them colored, and one thing that when you're in Angular is it's called component driven architecture. Basically, anytime you see like kind of code duplication in your markup, that's probably an indicator that you should create a component and then copy that structure over. Because in all likelihood, however I change one of these, I'm going to want to change both of them. So ideally, the way you do that is um, you there's a most there's a lot of ways to do it. Sometimes people copy and paste the code. They'll like take this, like make a copy of an existing component and then kind of go through all the steps. What I typically do is I use the CLI, and what I normally do is I go into the packages.json and I'll create a command. So it'll be like something like this. The name of this component is going to be API indicator, and all CLI things start with ng, and then whenever you want to create something, it's generate. I'm 99% sure you could just put a G in there, short for generate, and then component, which you can put a C in instead of component, and then the name of your component. So I'm going to call it API indicator. And now I like to run it this way because I probably literally have 20 different versions of the CLI on my computer. So I like to know for sure that it's using the CLI that is for this project, and this guarantees that. I have definitely in the past tried to run the wrong CLI, the command in the wrong CLI. So now at this point, I can just come in here and I can type in npm run API indicator. I'm always amazed. This truly annoys a lot of people, um, and I don't really understand why. It's one of these things I'm completely and utterly insensitive to. There's a lot of things I'm just really insensitive to. Like I can't. I don't even see. I don't see fonts. I don't see serifs unless you point them out to me. I won't even see them. I'm just numb to it. But I have seen QA people specifically sit down and be like, there'll be like four different fonts, and it's like someone literally just punched them in the face. They're like, "Oh my God, look at all these fonts," and I'm like, "Oh, okay." And that one has serifs. And I actually saw some show where he was like, I see my words running all over with their little feet running all over the place. It's just like I don't even see those things. But anyway, so we have our API indicator now. Um, Now I don't remember. So yeah, so we have to import that and this is a fairly new thing in Angular that was introduced in Angular 17, um, and but you have to import your components. Now, before that, what would happen is you would have a module, and then it would, I believe, if I remember correctly, it would automatically put it in your module for you. Um, but that those days, and you could still have modules in a lot of places. I'm sure will, because for a really large application, you're definitely going to want um, that. I think I could just type in API. You have to put dot slash, yeah, API indicator slash API component. All right, and then you have to bring it into your imports. And this looks just like the way it was in the modules, or the way it is in modules if you go that direction. And then, so we save that, and now we can come in here and we can take our selector. Oh my gosh. Oh, app API indicator. Okay. And we can just go like that. And we'll just do this. And yeah, so basically each one of these is going to have its own API indicator. This I think would probably be best called the title. So what you want to do is you want to go into here, and there is, from core, there's a function called input. Now there's kind of two ways to do this. This input way is the signals way to do it. There's another way where you can import something called a decorator and use that. And I believe the input is better because you can do things like making it required, which you couldn't do that with the decorators. But then I believe you just create the name um, of the variable, and then probably want to say string. Oh, you probably did. I don't know if you want to do that, or and then I think you do input, and then I cannot remember how to do that. Angular input signal inputs complete guide. This is a pretty good website. I use it all the time. It is a bit wordy. He's very, very complete. I think he's showing input. Okay, and then a default. And I believe you can call it, maybe it's like comma required. Let's see, let's scroll down. Let's see, Control F, required. Let's see. Oh, okay, so it's input dot required. So this means that you have to do it. And then I guess when it's required, you don't do that. So you don't provide one, okay, which makes sense. I think that's all we need from there. Now it's upset, right? Because it's like, hey, title is required. So now we want to add title here equals, and then our title has speech recognition API. And then we're going to have a second one. And this one's title is going to be has WebKit API. Now, sometimes when you're seeing this, what you'll see like brackets around this, like that. And then sometimes, to be extra confusing, you'll see brackets like that, and then like semicolons like that. Okay, so this brackets means that it's calculated, and 99 times out of 100, and really it should be 100 out of 100, but 99 times out of 100, that is it's a variable. That's a component variable. So like if you look in your component, it would be like has s title equals my title. And then over here in the template, this will be, so like almost every time when you see the brackets like that, it's tied to a variable, that's a component variable. But technically you can also give it a string. So that's why that works. But if there is no brackets, then you're just feeding it directly. It is not coming from the component at all. So anyways, that's what that's about. And like it's kind of one of those things that you learn once and it makes sense. So I don't think it's something that has to be repeated often, and that's why you don't hear it very often. And then that's why it's like kind of hard to learn the very first time. And then I always put, and this is always quite often a point of pain in most places that I work, I always put these on their own lines, because these components can get huge with dozens of items on them. And when you're doing git commits, if they're all on one line, git doesn't play very well with that, and you can have a lot of git conflicts. But if you put everything on its own line, that problem just goes away. But a lot of people don't like it. A lot of people want to create some sort of complex rules. Say, oh, if there's more than two things, then do it. But if there's only one thing, honestly, I just almost always, 99% of the time, I'll put that on its own line. Now, if we want to show our item over here, we can just, I don't know why I'm drawing a blank on what the word for that is, but we can just pull that in, and then with that and input signal. Okay, so yeah, this is a new signals thing. So it's telling us, hey, that's a signal, and anytime you have a signal, it's a function that you want to run. So we have two of them, and that's good. I think what we probably want to do is put these guys into their own, into a div, like a div parent container kind of thing, and then we probably want to give it a class of like indicators would be a good name. And then probably make that flex. Display flex. And now, and so what'll be nice about that is that when we, if it's on a phone view, it'll kind of handle it. I do definitely want it to be able to kind of go down to the next line. So I believe we want to make that. What is that? Oh, did not want that. Um, oh, it's wrap. I believe it's wrap. Yep. No. Let's see. Control F wrap. Okay, that's weird. Where is? Oh, flex wrap. Okay. Container flex wrap. And wrap. I believe no wrap is the default on that. So there, and then, so what I think that'll do is, yeah, so now it moves it to the next line. So I think that's probably good enough for today. That's probably, yeah, that's a bit long. I definitely want to use one of these cards, um, so that, we just have a basic card, uh, so that each one of these is its own little material card, and then that'll ensure that, um, it'll look good on the phone. It'll be usable on the phone, and there'll be plenty of space for things. So basically, in the next video, I'm gonna pull everything over, these icons, everything out of there, and so that we have these indicators at the top. Um, it's probably going to be, it's going to be a little while. Like, this, I think this whole web series is probably going to be about 20 videos, and that'll, by the end, the full analyzer will be working. Um, this is more about just kind of carefully getting the layout and all the pieces together correctly. Anyways, guys, happy coding. Um, thank you. Bye.